Hey everyone, I want to make a video of me putting together a chase light for my RZR Turbo S. Show you what I have now, and I'm not very impressed with it. It's a rigid, it's not an S2, that's a Baja Designs, but I forget what they call this. Anyway, it's just two amber LEDs. It is a spot pattern, which I think that's part of the problem. Should have been like a wide angle or a flood, but Amazon had these on clearance for like 35 bucks, so I got it. Anyways, besides that, it's still just not even that bright, especially in the daytime. I had a buddy give me a bunch of these lights, and these are Wayland. I don't know the exact name of them, but they have their own strobe stuff in them. These actually came off of a police car. So I have like some whites, I have some reds, and I have some blues. So what I want to do is use two reds and two ambers. Now I don't have any ambers, but I believe these are the whites. I bought some amber like tint film that I'm gonna tint these with. And so basically I just want to make a video of me putting together this chase light bar. That way it's really noticeable, and they strobe. The strobe that I'm using, essentially you can link these together and they have their own strobe patterns in them, and I don't know how many channels, I think it's like 16 different channels, and you use a momentary switch like this to go through them. But you can't, it won't link four of them. I don't know. Anyways, I had this laying around because I had it for another project that I didn't end up using it, and this was the perfect scenario to use this so that I can link, two of the ambers and two of the reds at the same time, and kind of see what it's going to do here. So I'm just going to hook it up to the battery. Okay. So essentially, here's what that box is doing. I can press this switch and it'll change through the options. The camera is definitely not picking up how fast those are strobing, but it's going like brrr, 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 brrr. My son's loving the noises here. But anyway, this one has like 12 channels too, I believe. 12, maybe 16. And I'll mount this switch in the dash somewhere. So like I said, there's some whites and the reds. These will be tinted to be amber. So by the way, this isn't a how-to. This is just how I did it. I'm just showing you a video. You can get your own ideas or whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece of aluminum here. I don't know, this is like 1/4 inch or so that I had from a skid plate that I made. And I'm going to cut this down probably half the length. And then I'll put bends on the side of it to where I will attach these brackets that came from a rear view mirror for the side-by-side. These hook up to the roll bar in the back, and the spacing on the back of this happens to be like an inch, 2 inches longer than I actually need, so it's going to be perfect. It'll basically mount there, and then I can hook that up as high as I can go. So it's, once I do get another rear view camera, if I do, or rear view mirror, it won't be in the way. So I'm going to start working on it here. The first thing I have to do, and the part that I've been kind of dreading this whole time, is cutting this. It's super loud, it's super messy, but I have to cut this down with like a cutoff wheel. I'm going to try to do some filming as I'm doing it, because that's what my videos have been lacking lately, so hopefully it gets done and it looks good for you guys. Alright, so I cut this piece out. God, I hate cutting aluminum with a grinder with a cutoff wheel, especially cheap cutoff wheels from Harbor Freight. I just feel like things are gonna explode in my face. Anyway, so I cut this piece down. I marked the center, and these lights are exactly 4 inches long. So I cut this piece down 20 inches in length. That way to give me about 2 inches of room to bend these to make the tabs for these brackets. I don't want the lights sitting right next to each other, butting up against each other, maybe like a 1/4 inch between them or so. I don't have a lot of room. I only have 17 inches exactly between, so that's going to pretty much give me exactly 17 inch if I do that. So now I just got to figure out where I'm going to drill the holes. On the back of these lights, this is kind of, anyways, on the back of these lights, there's these 2 holes here. I don't know even what the thread is on them, but I have a bunch of these brackets with the screws, so I'm just going to reuse them. On the back side, anyways, I'm going to take these off and drill 2 holes along the sides of this, where they're going to be mounted. I got to figure out whatever that measurement is going to be, and then we can start mounting them up. I don't know if I'm going to have to put a little notch like this in the aluminum. I don't know. We shall see. I'm going to work here and maybe see if I can get another time lapse. But right now I'm actually just kind of thinking of what the heck I'm going to do. Alright, so I drilled all the holes. Not perfect, but like pretty much everything I do, it's good enough for me. For the girls I go out with, at least. Hope my wife is not watching. Anyways, I'm going to try to find some hardware to mount up the lights just to check fitment. They're actually going to be stacked right on top of each other, like I said earlier that I didn't want to do. It looks fine. I'm not going to put the bends in it yet until I know for sure it all fits. Okay, I'll see you in a few seconds. Alright, check it out. All mounted up. The screws that it came with, or that were in the lights already, were too long, so I had to cut some of them down. And to avoid doing that, I looked through all the stuff I had, and I was able to find 2 that were perfect. Got my #1 fan right here. You're gonna be on YouTube, so anyways, don't look at the hardware. But it ended up coming out pretty cool. It's pretty dead on straight, which was surprising. There's like a small gap between these, maybe like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. And this is pretty much touching, so I could drill these out and kind of space it, but it looks fine because these gaps are pretty much right on. So I haven't tinted these things yet. Probably not going to do that tonight, but I want to try to at least get it wired up on the bench, see what it looks like.
It's the black or white.
Alright, so I just kind of wired it up here on the bench. Haven't bent this yet, but it all fits. Just kind of want to show you guys what the layout will be. I don't know if I mentioned, but I have an amber film that I got off Amazon. I'm going to like tint these essentially so that they're ambers instead of whites. Because this is going to be a rear-facing chase light. So anyways, that's just one of the patterns. It's crazy how the camera frame per second doesn't pick up the actual pattern. Alright, so I put 2 layers of this film on here already. It comes in a roll. I think this is like 12 inch by 48 inches, so way more than I'll ever need. And I've just been cutting it into strips. Anyways, I did 2 layers because one layer, I don't like the color. And I've heard other people that left reviews said they needed like 2 to 3 layers to get like a nice amber color. So I think I'm going to go 3 layers because it still looks a little yellowish. Kind of want more of the orange amber. And something I didn't notice, there's actually a backing piece that covers the stickiness, and then there's like a top piece that covers the actual film from being scratched. In case you guys are doing this. Anyways, I'm going to try to do another layer here and see how that goes. Alright, just finished doing the 3rd layer. Let's see what kind of a color I'm seeing. I think there's another layer on here. There's that top layer I was talking about. Yeah, that looks a lot better to me, the color. Yeah, that's a nice amber color. I blocked these other ones out. Sweet. Also considering I'm considering tinting the 2 reds with this as well. Only because the lenses itself are clear on all of them. These 2 will be amber. But maybe just 1 layer on here will kind of make it look more uniform. And I don't think 1 layer of this stuff is going to affect the color at all of the red color. So, I don't know, I might experiment, just cover it real quick and trace it out. Anyways, I think 3 is the magic number. I like the way that looks. 3 layers. So I'll go ahead and finish up this, and then I'll also do an experiment and try this out. So you can see the color there. The car will lights up yellow. I ended up, I did put the film on in the middle lights, and it didn't have any effect on the overall color, but I figured there's really no point. Who cares if those are white or clear, and then these are, you know, show amber. When they turn on, everyone's gonna know what color they are. Anyways, that's it for me for tonight. I'll follow up hopefully tomorrow, get this bent up, excuse me, and get it all mounted up, and then I'll have to figure out how I want to do the wiring. Quick update from me. Haven't been filming much, but I got the bracket finished. I got everything. I got it painted as well. That's installed. I'm doing the wiring now, running it down the cage, and I end up using the battery directly instead of going all the way to the front to that bus bar. The switch and momentary button are already installed and wired. I just have to finish literally connecting the lights to the strobe mechanism. So hopefully in about 10, 20, hour, it'll be done. All right. Everything's wired in. Let's see if it works. I wired this one up to ignition. My other stuff's hooked up to constant. Nice. It's bright. So I'm gonna open the garage now and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's freaking bright. Hell yeah. Even me out there in the light shining through that, it's like it hurts my eyes. It's definitely because of the wide angle, but also those LEDs are super bright. What you think, dog? Dude, it's fucking bright if you look at it, even from the side angle. Alrighty, well, here's the final product. I guess I should turn it on for you. Let's see, get under there. I could still tidy up the wires, but I'm not too concerned. Unfortunately, I don't have the keys, so you're not going to see it on. But you saw it on the last video, so, or last clip, should I say. Pretty happy with it. I can't tell you how bright these things are. It is literally lighting up my next door neighbor's garage. Well.